Top of the morning to you. Jim Holley with you on this Saturday morning. 3 days in the month of March. Is that something? 3 days in the month of March. Already March. January, February, gone. And here we are entering the month of March. Nevertheless, this is good to be with you on this Saturday morning. Live and living color. At least we're trying to be that way anyway. So we just thank you so much for being with us. You know, sometimes you just for some reason or another, these last 3 or 4 days, I've just had these I don't know what you call it, but the sick spells, you know. But I just felt like that I would do a lot better if I just come in and just be with you. So I may not seem the chipper person today as I'd like to be and all like this, but it's not because of my love for you. It's just simply that I'm not really feeling that well. I should say that. And as I said, for the last 3 or 4 days, I just sort of just can't get it together. It's nothing, you know. You ever had this situation where nothing really wrong and nothing really right? It's just sort of like you can't get your system back in order, you know, and anything you try to eat, it just doesn't taste good. Anything you drink, you don't seem to want it. And then that which you do try to force yourself, your body rejects it. So nevertheless, I'm sorry about bringing this all on you this morning, but you're all I got for right now. So anyway, I just want to say good morning to you, and thank you so much for being with us here at WHPR. People don't have to be nice, and when they are, at least you can do is say thank you. And certainly we want to thank you so much for being with us every Saturday morning. If this is your first time listening, viewing the program, it is a live talk show, and you're certainly welcome to call in. The numbers are right there on your television screen, and you're welcome to call in about subject matters that we're talking about, or maybe something else you would like to talk about. You know, I was trying to get in touch with my resident contributor to help me on my program a lot of times, Reverend Cullingham. I called him earlier this morning. I probably called him a little bit too early. But you know, I was so taken back about this young man that killed his mother and father there at Michigan Central State. I just you know, not you want any person to kill their mother and father, you know, but I just knew when it did happen that it certainly wasn't an African American family. But you know, it just seems to be, my sisters and brothers, that this thing is just, it's just prevalent and all over. Whether you're black or white, it doesn't really matter. But normally with us, we don't normally turn our, to me, and maybe I'm missing something here, but we basically don't turn on our parents. You know, we might fight with our stepfather. We might, you know, have a quarrel with our mother, but turn around just killing your mother and father, and just a sad situation. Obviously, there must be a lot to it, so you can't be judgmental or anything like that. But I was just sort of taken back by it. You know, I don't know about you, but I'm from that old school where you see something happening on the news, and as an African American, you just don't want it to be you. You don't want it to be one of your people. Does it make sense to you? I'm sorry if I'm not making it. I'm not doing it, seeing it right, and not politically correct. But I just felt like nowhere in the world this was a African American family that where the guy just shoots his mother and father. You know, you lose both of them at the. You know, I mean, it's the woman that brings you into this world, that carried you for 9 months or so, and nursed you, and you. So obviously, I'm sure I'm not going to try to be judgmental, because there's probably a lot of other stuff that's going on, maybe mental health and all this kind of stuff. But my sisters and brothers, I tell you, this world is getting. When you look and see what's going on in Florida, when you got you know, around 17 kids that are killed, and police officers just standing in and standing by, and don't want to engage the person. The guy basically is a juvenile and a young person, and he comes in and kills 17 students, and I mean, obviously there's a lot of mental illness going on, and of course, evidently we're going to see more of it if we don't try to get a hold of it. Then of course you got this whole debate about guns and all of this kind of thing. So you kind of just want to, try to just put it in some type of perspective, I guess. But I'm just hurt by, I'm hurt by anybody. I don't want you to think this is, this is a pro-black or anti-white or anything. I'm obviously devastated by any family that basically where a child turns there and kill their parents. But to see this happening in our own community, so to speak, our own race, you just, I don't know. It just really hurts. It just really hurts. And you kind of wonder what in the world could have happened that, that that you just want to hurt your mother or hurt your father, And as I said before, we've always, we know as men and young boys, we have problems with our stepfathers, maybe, or have problems even with our biological fathers. But to the point where you just pull up, take a gun and just blank range and just shoot it and kill them. It's got to be, it's got to be, and then of course there are other children that's involved, other family members that's involved. Anyway, I just feel so bad about it this morning, because you just really was hoping that, well, as I said before, you're sorry about it happening, that it's happening, just happening, period. But when it comes down to basically as an African American family, you just, sort of embarrassed by it, I guess. I don't know what the maybe the correct word would be, but I'm really feel bad about this and feel I just want to be very prayerful for this family, because I said before, you have a I think it's two children, two other children that's involved, and so I'm just saying to you that I'm just hurt by all of it. Anyway, Jim Holley with you here on this Saturday morning. Right now we're talking about the high today, about 41 degrees for the high. Right now 28 degrees on both sides of the street, and tomorrow on Sunday, no rain and no snow in the forecast, about 44 degrees on Sunday and 45 degrees on Monday. Maybe some little snow coming in on Monday night. But for the most part, right now, we're not talking about anything but just cold on both sides of the street. As I said before, it's 28 degrees right now, and about 41 for the high for today. And that's the way it's going to look. Of course, you got a lot of potholes. You got to be, I mean, these streets are really terrible, really terrible. I think that the state legislature has deemed some money to this area in terms of with construction and for these highways, and hopefully it'll get down here and to start working on them right away. But these streets are terrible, aren't they? I mean, it's just terrible. But anyway, I just want you to know there's some things I want to do this morning, and I'm really on a mission. I'm really on a mission this morning. And that is people like Mrs. Taylor, Maureen Taylor, and Chief, Deputy Chief, and Tyrone, and Larry, and a bunch of you. I really need you to help me to find about 15 to 20 young men and women of today. I need you to find them today. I really. I have a situation where for 2 months I have some work for them to do, $10 an hour for 40 hours a week, and I'm just asking that you help me to find them. All I need them to come today at the church at 12 o'clock today. at 9000 Woodward Avenue if they can. If not, then come tomorrow at 12 o'clock. I'll be there tomorrow on Sunday as well. And just all I need is really the last four digits of their Social Security number, and need a driver's license, a copy of the driver's license. If you don't have either one, just come anyway. We'll work it out. I just want you working. I just want you to know that there is a 2 months of work at $10 an hour. And they're looking for somebody from ages of about 18 to 26, 18 to 26, 18 to 27. If you can go to 28, it's okay with me, but somewhere between 18 to 26, if you could. And that's what I'm looking for this morning. And I really feel like, my sisters and brothers, I got enough people that's looking at this program that can help me. That you have nieces and nephews, sons and daughters. You got friends who looking for some work, and like I said, it is temporary, just 2 months' work, but for this month and April, all of April, and again, we're talking about $10 an hour. You know, that can really let you, do a little something with your bills, a little bit of something for independence, a little bit you try to help your mother, help your household. $10 an hour, 40 hours a week for 2 months. And so I'm asking those of you who would please just have them to meet me at the church today at 12 o'clock. I'll be there at 12 o'clock straight up. And then if they can't make it at 12 o'clock, then bring them if they can meet me there tomorrow, Sunday, and meet me there in my office on Sunday at 12 o'clock. I'll be happy to sit down and talk to them and get them registered up. I just need about a good 15 to 17 of young men and women to really, for this particular program. And it's like, for example, you may be working at Constantine Little Rock Baptist Church. We are trying to clean out the hall, the banquet hall, trying to make things a little bit better, trying to build a new banquet hall. We need to move furniture around. We need to, so it's nothing really complicated, nothing that you have to have a PhD for. It's just a matter of just willing to just spend some time, about 7 to 8 hours a day, just working and getting a check for it. And so I'm just asking if you know someone this morning, if you would please, and to help me with this, I would appreciate it very, very much. Again, it's at 9000 Woodward Avenue. The church is between Holbrook and Claremont, and you can't miss it. And so again, we just ask that those of you who are listening to right now, if you have a son, if you have a daughter, if you have a niece or nephew, or someone that basically that whose young person really needs to have a job for right now. Now this may go into something else. This is just a start. It may these 2 months may turn into 3 months. It may turn into 4 months. It may turn into a whole year. You just don't know. But I am saying to you, we're just looking for about 17 that we have basically have really a budget for, and just asking if you would please, ma'am, and please, sir, please, if you would, that we are looking for these young people to really work, and basically to just get them busy. The weather is changing, and of course the devil is busy, and you want them just get them to work, and we can do this for them. And we got these programs for you. And again, I just want to make sure that we give them to you. Obviously, if I could do this with other people and with other churches, I call 5 pastors and they can send them to me. But I try to do things because you're so loyal to this station. You're so loyal to this program. I just try to make sure that we get as much to give you a heads up about anything that we're trying to do. So if you would, please, just want to remind you that, again, we're basically talking about somewhere between the ages of like 18 to 26. And you're talking about a driver's license. If you don't have I need a copy of a driver's license. If you don't have that, don't worry about it. Certainly you have your Social Security number. Just need the last four numbers of the Social Security number. And again, I'm just saying to you is that, and then this is a $10 an hour job, $10 an hour, and again for two months. And I don't know what that's equivalent of, but the point is, my sister, brother, it's a way of helping. It's really a way of helping. And then pretty soon we'll be able to also let you know there is another program coming out for younger people with the mayor's office that basically is getting a lot of young people jobs for the summer jobs for the youth. And so we get that to you. But right now I'm talking about people who basically between the ages of 18 to 26. 18 to 26. If you 27, look like you're 26, then just come anyway. If you're 28 and look like you're 26, just come anyway. I won't tell anybody. But I really want to try to make sure this works, and this is a way of trying to help many of these young people, your sons, your daughters, your nieces, your nephew, your relatives and friends that you have to really give them some work and some work experience. Again, you don't have to have a degree. You don't have to have a PhD for this. This is just manual labor. You may be asked to basically assist someone in the office as a manager assistant. You may be asked to shadow someone of something that you might feel that you might want to do and thought about doing, and we'll put that person around you. But nevertheless, you're getting paid for this, getting paid for just really thinking about what it is that you want to do while you're doing something that's worthwhile. So again, I'm just asking you. I really feel really excited when I'm able to give things away. I'm I'm not feeling that good today, but I'm just don't want you to feel my demeanor is because of not being excited. I'm very excited about this, but I'm just saying to you, my sisters and brothers, that somehow, some kind of way, we got to make sure that our young people. I know that many of you say, "Well, Reverend, we got thousands of them out here that need jobs." Well, I'm just doing the best I can. Maybe there were 500 of me doing what we're offering to them. Then we probably could do that. But right now, I'm just doing what's possible right now. And so I'm just asking if you would please, I just need a good 15 to 17 people. That's all I need. If I get 20, I'd be happy as I could be. And so I'm just asking that if you would please to do just that. One of the things I wanted to, I was meeting just by way of giving you some information before we get into something to talk about this morning. That I was meeting with some of the foster care agencies this week, and one of the things, of course, is a lot of times is that people find you because you're accessible, and so when you go to work every day, so you'll be accessible, so people find you. And so they basically walked in and just wanted to know if they could have a conversation with me about foster care, and what could I do and what can I do to help with their programs. And then so we just got to talking, and this particular foster care home had about 200 girls from the ages of from ages to 11 to 24, ages 11 to 24. This is a group home for girls, and they had about 200 of them in this particular agency. But they were telling me, my sisters and brothers, in the metropolitan area alone, there are 10,000 foster care kids. There are 10,000 kids in foster care. Over 10,000. Now, of course, I quoted to you maybe several months ago that in the state of Michigan, it's about 14,000 kids, but in foster care. But in the metropolitan area, you know, and this is, we don't even we talk about, obviously we talk about our school system, and we should. Obviously, we talk about our crime, and we should. Obviously, we talk about unemployment, and we should. We talk about so many things in our community, and we should. But can you imagine that in the metropolitan area, in the city of Detroit metropolitan area, there are 10,000 kids in foster care? 10,000. 10,000. And so they were telling me, obviously, they try to work their way, get them where they work the kids back into to their families. They're working very hard to do that. But for the most part, they are saying that it is difficult. In many cases, it's just difficult. That when these kids are taken away from their families, it's very difficult to get them back to the family for one reason or another. But can you imagine that ought to be alarming. That ought to be alarming to us. 10,000 kids in foster care? 10,000? You know, my son, there are some cities don't have 10,000 in them. And we're talking about 10,000 kids in foster care in metropolitan Detroit. I'm not talking about Chicago and talking about Philadelphia and talking about New Orleans. I'm just talking about here in the metropolitan area of Detroit. 10,000 plus kids in foster care, and do we even talk about it? Do we ever say what we can do to help? Do we have any programs or any commission on why it's disproportionately us than it is somebody else? Some other group? Have we ever even thought about it? Is it just me? You know, is it just me thinking how terrible this is that we don't even have a discussion about the foster care? I was told you a few months ago that I was at the shoe shine parlor on Woodward here in Detroit, and in Holland Park. And getting my shoes, picking up my shoes, and this young man sitting there, and it just seemed to be just out of it. He was dirty, and he seemed to be disoriented, and obviously when you go into a establishment, they want to know why you're in here, so they basically ask you to leave. And of course, I guess I think it was kind of raining that day, if I remember correctly. But to make a long story short, I spoke to him. I said, "Son, what's wrong? You seem to be so unhappy. You seem to be so disoriented. What's going on?" And so he looks at me, and this is what he says: Why are you talking to me? I said, "What do you mean, why am I talking to you? I'm just concerned how you look and how you act, and what's wrong? Are you hungry?" He said, "Well, you know, to make a long story, it was his birthday. And obviously he just, when you turn 18, then you age your way out of the foster care. And so while I was feeding him, I just thought I would talk to him. And so he went on to tell me about the fact is that he's been sleeping in an abandoned house. He'd been sleeping in an abandoned house out on the porch in Highland Park. And then he hadn't had no bath in quite a while and all this kind of stuff. And of course, he was mistreated when he was in foster care. He said that I'm just telling you what he said. He said that many of the family members, the children that belong to the children in the family, when he was they put him in the basement, and then they would basically beat him up and abuse him, over and over again. He said he couldn't read, he couldn't talk, and he's 18, and obviously he's got some mental challenges now, but and of course we took him to a place where they would serve him and try to get him back on his feet. But the point is, my sisters and brothers, is this the way we want agencies to be? Is this who basically monitors this stuff? And so I know I'm bringing other stuff to you. Well, Rebel, we got enough on our plate to be worried about foster care and all this kind of stuff. Man, we got too much on our plate already. Probably you're right. But tell these children that. Tell these children that. I got one lady in my church, and she has about 7 or 8 kids out of foster care. And I mean, they do everything. They're in the church, they're in the choir. We make sure that they get clothes. We make sure they have the tickets to go to the circus or go to this event, that event, whatever she needs to do. And I really feel like that's where the church ought to be involved in this thing, is that all of us should basically try to see how we can really help this foster care situation. But nevertheless, that's just me. It's 31 minutes after the hour. Let me take a short break here, and if you don't mind, I seem to be just talking and talking.
I've always been interested in driving. When I was in the service, I drove a stick shift truck. After being retired, I got tired of sitting around. It's time for me to get back maneuvering something on the road. I'm back in school again, and I seen the sign out there, said truck CDL. I'm in school trying to get me an associate degree. One reason I quit school years ago, I'm slow learning. But once I learn things, I can pick it up. But I can pick more so up on hands-on. The technology is different for me. It's a difference between driving a straight-back truck or a stick-shift car. And the semi-truck amazes me. This is a program that advances knowledge. I'm determined to get an education. Get you a skill and a trade. Live life. Enjoy it.
You've seen him on the red carpet, you've seen him on the sidelines, you've seen him on the stage. The hottest looks in urban fashion from the biggest name in urban fashion, Van Dykes. Now pick out 3, pay for 1. 3 suits for 1. Van Dykes, 10 Mile and Southfield Road. You've seen him at the clubs, you've seen him in the boardroom, you've seen him on the pulpit. Now get them at Van Dykes. 3 suits for 1. Suits for the workplace, for the club scene, to be seen in. Pick out 3, pay for 1. Van Dykes, 10 Mile and Southfield Road.
Watkins Broadcasting is going worldwide. Now you can watch Detroit's own WHPR on your TV from anywhere in the world. No matter where you are, you can stay in the know with WHPR TV and Roku. You can get your easy-to-install Roku box from wherever you shop for your entertainment gear. Once your Roku box is connected to your TV and internet, go to the channel store on the home menu of the Roku box. Enter WHPR TV in the search engine and add it to your channels. That's it. That's all you need to get the best in entertainment, news, and talk, no matter where you are. Roku brings all of your favorites to your TV. Netflix, Hulu Plus, Crackle, HBO Go, and now WHPR TV, Detroit Live.
There is not another culinary or hospitality academy located in the city of Detroit.
There's a lot of people teaching culinary arts, but they're not teaching the business side of it.
We're opening up another kitchen for the Cleary Culinary Academy. We're going to bring a Cleary mind to every kitchen in downtown Detroit.
But when we talk about a Cleary mind, we're talking about a student that can make a definite impact.
We want to be a part of all the wonderful food establishments, restaurants, and the food scene in general in downtown Detroit.
And once again, thank you so much for being with us this morning. Caller, thank you for your patience. How are you this morning?
Good morning. I just wanted you in the audience to know that Grow Detroit Youth Talent.org is taking applications from January to March, maybe the 17th. GDYT.org. And they can do the applications online, and that's for the summer youth program. And thank you for all you do. And I'm on my way to swim away all this stress. Thank you.
All right. Yeah. All right. Thank you, and thank you for the call as well.
Okay. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. It's right now about 36 minutes after the hour. I'm going to try to get some information here to you. See, like I'm not only down, but look like you are too. As all the indications based upon the calls right now. But let me just say this to you, my sisters and brothers, that I mentioned to you, and I hope you got it that you got this, and that is that the driver's fee. Where am I trying to say? The driver's fee that people are having a lot of problems with in Detroit. It's going to be done away with in October the 1st of this year, and that for those who have driver's fee, it will be waived. The 66,000 drivers in Detroit, 350,000 that's in the this drivers program, the statewide. About 350,000 of them statewide, the 76,000 just in Detroit alone. But my understanding is that the average person has to pay about the $1,600 when it comes down to this driver's fee. And so, but in October the 1st of this year, put it on the calendar, all these fees will be waived. And you got to really know this has got to be a good news for many of you who basically just really stuck and can't get out of this situation. So I'm just it's got to be a good news for you. This driver's fee, basically that I'm sure I'm not giving the right name that it should have. I had it here somewhere, but I'm just saying to you is that I just want you to know. I just want to get it to you, put it on your calendar, and that again that many people are been hampered by this, have been penalized in terms of getting jobs, trying to get their driver's license and all of that because of this driver's fee. And so I'm just saying to you, my understanding is in October the 1st of this year, that it will waive. All this will be forgiven. These fees will be forgiven. The state is putting about 35 million into this, and everyone from one end of the state to the other, that they will be waived. And that's a good thing. That is a good thing. And then I wanted to give you these ideas, this whole work piece that's taking place here in the city of Detroit, and that you got to get ready for it. I know I say it, I know I sound like a broke record for the most part every time I come here on Saturday mornings, but I guess until you get it, I guess I continue to tell it. Because I'm telling you, my sisters and brothers, we got to get ready for this stuff. We got to get ready for this stuff. We know opportunities are here, going to be opened up for work. We know investments of billions of local and regional developments will be represent here in the city of Detroit. We know that the region is experiencing unprecedented growth, and so we need to know that. And the problem, of course, we have is the workforce. And so we got to get ready for it. We got to get ready for it. I mean, if you're talking about two bridges, you're talking about infrastructure, you're talking about what Dan Gilbert is doing, you're talking about what Wayne County is going to be doing in regards to the new jail and the new courthouse and all of that. So it's a whole lot of stuff that's taking place here, and I just want to make sure that we know what's happening. Caller, thank you for being there. How are you?
Pretty good.
Good.
I'd like to comment on the driver responsibility fees.
Yeah, right. Yeah, thank you for that.
Yes, I think it's important. Now, the media, unfortunately, didn't do a more in-depth scenario about how the state and the governor decided to get rid of the driver's responsibility fees. But I know people have been working on it for years. But
yeah, last
year, a group out of Washington, the Equal Justice for All Institute, sued in federal court the state of Michigan for suspending people's license without due process. And the federal judge, Linda Parker, approved their preliminary injunction against the state that they could no longer suspend people's license because of their inability to pay. So the state of Michigan and Ruth Johnson, I think her name, the Secretary of State, and the governor and all of them, they got together and made a deal working with the Equal Justice for All Institute in Washington to relieve drivers of these illegal penalties that they've suffered for years. And they got rid of the driver's responsibility fees, but the papers never talked about that. They just kind of like praised Snyder and all these people, and even the mayor said, oh, finally we got some relief. But they weren't talking about this before. They just was, charging people money, taking their license. People were, and the judge was you really need to check out this article from last November. The judge was really passionate about this. She said there's no way the state should be penalizing drivers who can't pay a traffic ticket. Then in turn, they lose their license. They may lose their jobs in a city and region that is public transportation deficient. It was a great ruling, and we need to applaud the Equal Justice for All Institute in Washington and federal judge Linda Parker.
Let me ask you this.
They're the ones responsible for forcing the state pretty much to give relief to Michigan drivers.
Yeah, so you tell. So you tell.
Unfortunately, impacted Detroit and black folks.
Yeah, you're telling me that this was not done locally. This was done outside of the state and brought in and challenged in the court.
Right. This was as a result of the federal court, the Eastern Michigan District downtown.
Okay.
Approving a preliminary injunction against the state, saying they could no longer suspend people's licenses because of their inability to pay. And it led to the governor and the state getting rid of the driver's responsibility fees.
That's great. Thank you for the information here.
All right, have a good one.
No, thank you so much for that. I didn't know how it came about. it's basically, and it's so nice to have people like you and others who can get me put this record straight. Well, that's good. I mean, but anyway, I appreciate that information and how it came about, because you know that indeed that there are people trying to take advantage, trying to take credit for it, and of course you do know that. And so again, but the thing about it is, the bottom line, of course, is that on October the 1st, the driver's registration, the driver's responsibility fee will be done away with. All fees will be waived. It's going to cost the state about $335 million, I understand, in terms of clearing everything out for everyone in Michigan, which is about 150,000 people in Michigan that's involved in this driver's responsibility fee. But again, I'm glad to hear that, and I'm glad to hear what you basically how you just giving me the information in regards to how it came about. But more than else, I just know that it's going to help a lot of people. This has been a nightmare, because you basically stopping people for even getting a taking the driver's license, and then if I can't pay the ticket, how I'm going to pay the drive? It's like a double whammy, And man, I'm just glad it's done. But it's going to be good. And as I said, October the 1st is the day, and I'm very grateful about that. Caller, thank you for being there. How are you?
Okay, what's going on, Reverend Holley?
Just fine. Thank you for calling. How you doing?
Okay, that law is an unjust law anyway. In my opinion about it, they need to refund everybody their money. But speaking of insurance, they have legislation pending to get rid of no-fault insurance right now, as of 2/7. You heard about that?
Yes, yeah.
And they're going to go back to a tort system.
Right. You think it's going? You think it's going to make it?
Yeah, because they're saying unlimited. What no-fault does is the unlimited medical. To give you unlimited medical, meaning they take care of you for the rest of your life. Okay. And they're saying that it's costing the state too much money. You understand? In other areas to have no-fault system in place.
Okay.
And Florida is one of the states that's following the suit. All
right.
And thanks for taking my call.
All right, and thank you for that as well. Thank you so much for all that information. It's important for all of us. Again, and I thank you very much. And let me just try to put this in perspective, because in terms of this whole thing about work and what I'm looking for you, if you're just joining me, I'm telling you what I'm looking for is about 15, 17 to 20 young people between the age of 18 to 28, 18 to 26, just like that. And I'm just asking them if you want to work for 2 months at $10 an hour, I got it for you. And it's nothing hard to do, but it is some good, honest work. And I'm just asking that you indeed talk to me and come and see me on Sunday, today at 12 o'clock today. If you can't come today, then come tomorrow at 12 o'clock on Sunday. I'll be there today and tomorrow at 12 o'clock just to meet with you, give you the information that you need, and show you what to do after that. But what we're talking about is I just need you mothers and fathers, nieces and nephews, brothers and sisters, all of you, to if you know somebody between the ages of 18 to 26, I'm just saying to you is that I'm just asking you to call her and let them know you got some work for them. $10 an hour. I know it's not going to pay a house note, but for many of you, it will help you with your rent. And so I'm just saying to you, my sister, but let us try to help you. Let us try to help you. Let us try to help you. And again, all I need is an age range from 18 to 26. All I need is the last 4 digits of your Social Security number, and also a copy of your driver's license. If you don't have a driver's license, it's okay. It's not necessary. You don't have it, it's fine. I can still work with you, because I'm not going to have you doing any driving anyway. But I'm just saying to you, it is nothing difficult. It's just basically working in the office, working around, helping move furniture, basically being in the office, filing, just maybe some security, just light security, just making sure that indeed that people going this way, that way, all that kind of stuff, very light stuff. But it's a way that we can put some money in your pocket. That's the main thing. It's if you just want to sit there and just sit in my office and just look at me for the long as you can, we'll pay you for that. I'm just saying to you, my sisters and brothers, let us try to help you. Let us try to help your sons and your daughters and your nieces and your nephews. Let's try to help. Sometimes I do get frustrated. I because I do feel like that I put these callers out, and somehow, some kind of way, people keep telling me, the Tyrones and the others who keep telling me that about jobs and all this kind of stuff. I'm just saying to you, I know this is not a panacea to anybody's life, but it is something that we can give you for at least a couple of months. It may start out a couple of months. It may be for another 2 months, maybe for the whole year. You just don't know where it's going to turn, what's going to happen from that point on. But the point is, my sister, let us try to help you. Just let us try to help you. So all I'm looking for you is you can have some people meet me at the church today at 12 o'clock. I'll be there from like 12 to 12:30, so you just come in. And then if you came there to be there today, tomorrow, I'll be there until 12 o'clock tomorrow. And we'll give the information and tell you what to do on Monday morning, and try to get that information to you, and try to get you started, within the next week. And so again, just asking you to help me to find these young people who really may need just a little supplemental income, and $10 an hour. And all I need is a copy of the driver's license, the last four digits of your Social Security number, and that's all. That's all I really need. I think that's all. Let me see here. That's all I need is, that's about it. Just something, some type of ID. If you don't have a driver's license, an ID of some course, state of Michigan ID. That's basically, and so something like that. And so I'm just asking you, just try to help us to do this if you don't mind. I just got a feeling you can help me. I just got a feeling that you can help me. Caller, thank you for your patience. How are you?
Good morning.
Good morning. How you doing?
Yeah. You said that people like me talk about, that ain't no panacea. You're right. Now, here what I've seen, Reverend Holley. I've seen over the years people carried out, I'm talking about community activists, welfare rights and stuff.
Yeah.
They carried out social work to help the people. But look at our condition. It really didn't help the people. So what do we have an example of what we should do? Yes, we do have an example. We should be organizing the people, because it's only the people who makes the change, not social workers.
Okay.
That helping them, you giving a job, that really cripples them. But I'm not saying that they shouldn't take the job, but all the civil rights movement, revolution, they wasn't serving breakfast like the Panthers. They organized the people, and the people forced the government, because the people, the power is the numbers of people saying, okay, we're not going to accept this. We want Social Security. We want unemployment compensation for everybody that's in a capitalist society. That's 1% is going, and all of us are starving and dying in the street. So I think if we also, as you find jobs, I fine. But what King, you celebrated at your church, he organized the people. And the people went against the capitalist system. You say no. And Mao Zedong in China did the same thing. And look at China now. Lenin in Russia did the same thing. Castro. We are working people. And the 1% are capitalists. And they are taking all our labor, the product of our labor. So we must openly fight capitalism, not sit back and join capitalism and give just little programs, little jobs when you got 368,000 in Detroit don't have a job. That ain't even a drop in the bucket. So I'm just saying, yes, do that. If you they told you to find some jobs and you can get some jobs, yeah, do that. But you got generations who hasn't had no jobs in Detroit for these four generations.
Yeah.
They shut Detroit, the people out of the job. And the people, and so now what do we do? Just get two or three little jobs and let the rest die? That's what's happening all over the country, Chicago, in every black community. That's what the shooting is about in the black community. So I'm just saying, yeah, you can do that, but don't push that program as though you said it in the panacea. But why don't you try to say, let's join and organize the masses of people, because only the people makes the change. Yeah. No leaders helping the people, social workers helping the people make change.
Got you. Thank you, my friend.
That's all I got to say. You told me last week that I don't pause. I'm paused.
I appreciate it. I knew it was going. I was trying to make you call. Thank you for that.
Okay, now.
Caller, thank you so much. How are you this morning? Good morning.
Good morning.
Yes.
How are you, Reverend Holley?
Hi, how are you?
I'm doing fine.
Good.
Reverend Holley.
Yeah.
Keep doing what you're doing, because I'm the young lady that calls in just about every week, and we're giving out jobs.
Yeah. Yeah.
I wouldn't care if we touch one person.
Yeah.
That's more than anything. And I just hate to say this, is that when we're out here trying to help, we always got somebody negative.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to tell you this. Trinity Transportation is hiring.
Mm-hmm.
And March 9th, they'll be in Wyandotte. March 8th, they'll be in Dearborn Heights. Yesterday, they were in Detroit. So they're going all over, the Wayne County, and they're, putting out applications and doing these job fairs.
Right.
I have another one for the feds, where if you was went to prison and have not got a expungement, or even if you have an expungement, I got it, but I have to pull it up.
Yeah.
So I'm going to try to call you back so I can give this information out on your show as well as the other shows, because it's 175 companies that has to hire these young men and women.
Yeah.
So keep doing what you're doing. And I want to tell you, thank you. I was able to go down to Wayne Community College last week, Saturday. But, Reverend Holley, you didn't tell me they had anesthesiologists.
I sure didn't.
And so I signed up for the program.
Good.
Because that's what I always wanted to do.
That's
so I
good.
just want to tell you, thank you.
Okay, thank you, sir.
And I'll call you back, okay?
I appreciate that. Thank you.
Okay, bye-bye.
Thank you so much. I want to make sure that I love me some Tyrone and others who basically have a difference of point of view, and that's what makes the show go, and that's what makes the show so popular. So I don't find that anybody basically is trying to be discouraging or anything like that. So I don't want you to feel that way. I think if people just have a difference. We're all trying to get to the same place. We just got different ways to get there. You know, we all trying to get to Chicago. Some want to go flight, some by plane, someone go by train, someone who by car, sometimes people want to walk. But the point is, we all trying to get to a certain destination. I think that's what it's really all about. I think, you know, one of the things that you know what, I get this, well, let me just say this to you. I'm trying to get Minister Farrakhan's Savior's Day speech. I understand it was just, I was supposed to be there. I talked to Minister Ishmael 3 days ago, and trying to get an appointment with the minister. But I'm trying to get my producer to basically to segment it, where in 30-minute intervals, where I can put 30 minutes up and we could talk about it. 30 minutes up, we'll talk about it. 30 minutes, then maybe next Saturday, 30 minutes up, we'll talk about it. Because I think it's about 2 hours, a little less than 2 hours in terms of the speech. That's normally what he speaks, a little less than 2 hours. So I'm just saying to you, but I'm going to trying to get my producer to do that, my editor, the guy that does all of my editing, and trying to put Minister Farrakhan's, they tell me it was just excellent, that he covered everything. And my sister brothers, you know, people like Minister Farrakhan, me, and others, we're all getting up in age, and we need to really, we just buried Billy Graham yesterday, and 90 years old, and what a wonderful legacy that that he had over the years, and they began to remember all the things that he would say and did, and all those kind of things. But we need to also just remind ourselves again that we all get into a point where we need to remember and experience each other. And I want to make sure that you experience Minister Farrakhan every chance we get. The guy is just brilliant, just such a brilliant mind. Just we may differ on our religion, we may differ on this, may differ on that, but we don't differ on our love for black people, and that's where we basically we always hit a home run with. And so I just want to make sure I'm trying to put that together. I should have it ready by you by next Saturday. I will work real hard to have it. Try to have Reverend Dr. Cunningham involved in this a little bit, who I have a lot of respect for as well, in terms of where we're going from here. The thing about it is, my sisters and brothers, when we look and see that we're 14% of the population, 70% of the prison population, we talk about foster care, like in the city of Detroit in particular, 10,000 people children in foster care. When we talk about 70% of our homes are broken, when you talk about unemployment as well as underemployment, when we talk about illiteracy, the thing that Tyrone is talking about is that you got people who haven't been looking for jobs for three generations. What do you do with them? What do you do somebody that's 50 years old that needs to eat and needs to pay light bill? What do you do with somebody 55 that needs to eat, needs to get a light bill? What do you do? And they deserve to have a chance to work as well. What do you do with them? And so again, there are this whole thing of terms of vocation, careers is so important, because there's some things you can do without calculus and math and that kind of thing. There are very little that you can, but there are things we can do, can be trained to do. And so again, but when you talk about this crime, the crime situation, when you go through the litany of things that's going on in the black community, and nobody's addressing it. Nobody's addressing it. And then after you address it, who's implementing anything? Who's implementing anything? I mean, I have this document here from the Black Caucus that I showed you 2 weeks ago. This document here for the Black Caucus to the President of the United States. And obviously some things in there that they want the President to do. But if you're just going to give it to him and not going to engage or get in his face and say, why aren't you doing this? Or why aren't you doing this? I mean, why? I mean, who if you got somebody coming up with something, who's implementing it? And this is the thing that really bothers me. Am I the only one that thinks like this, my sisters and brothers? Am I the only one that thinks like we basically, or we have no direction? Am I the only one that really thinks that basically our people really have no direction? They have no idea what life is uncertain. There's so much uncertainty of life by itself. Certainly, we ought to be able to have some sense of knowing what we can do in terms of our careers, in terms of education, in terms of the whole value system that we have. And so I don't understand why we don't deal with this, or why we don't have our leadership to deal with this. You know, we're so busy fighting each other, so busy fighting the other guy. I mean, if we spend as much time fighting Trump as and spend that time working with each other, I mean, it was just, I think we get a lot more accomplished. But this I got every one of these. It has a lot of narratives in it. It's just a lot of. Oh, how should I say this without being misunderstood? It's a whole lot of unnecessary stuff. You know, some unnecessary stuff. You ought to go online, get it. I did it. I mean, what we really need is we need to talk about education for urban America. You know. I mean, that alone. You know, we need to talk about health for urban America. We need to talk about prison reform for urban America. You know, it's so much that we need to talk about. As I said before, this whole, what are we going to do about people, as Chiron has indicated, who really been looking for jobs? You know, and for 3 decades. You know, and somehow, some kind of my sisters and brothers, I don't see. Mr. Farragon is, I'm not quite sure what his age is now, but he's up in age. But he obviously has a beautiful mind. He's indicated. Now I'm gonna show all this stuff. I'm gonna give it to you next. Start trying to get some of this stuff to you next week. Things that he's indicated here. But who's going to implement this? You know, you must understand that the prophet and the messenger is not necessarily the person that basically execute the message. Who's going to do it? You know, who's going to do it? And then what are we going to do to try to make sure that at least we're not spread it out all over the place? And so I'm just saying to you, my sisters and brothers, that it bothers me. Maybe it's just me. Maybe it's just me and my old way of thinking, and you know, and I know I'm a dinosaur kind of guy, but I'm just saying to you is that if we got a prison, 14% of the population, 70% of the prison population, foster care, the broken homes, unemployment, underemployment, illiteracy, the crime. And we can go. Let's not even talk about it. Let even talk about the education. You know, equal education for all of our children. The person that gets money, the same people the kids get in Birmingham, ought to be able to get it in the city of Detroit. It should be equal education. This is America. And we got so many black people, and I know you're going to get mad at me, got so many black people trying to help dreamers, as if the black people don't dream. And I don't mind you helping them. I mean, that's fine. They're gonna get help. You can almost determine that they're gonna get help. You know, the Democrats gonna surely get them help. You know, but I mean, we've been dreaming all of our lives with the Democratic Party, and where are we? You know, and I'm just saying to you, my sisters and brothers, at some point or another, we have to have we got to have somebody to sit in to give us some direction. Give us some direction. And then also have somebody to execute that direction. And so that we can get our young people, get a future for our children. To get a future for our children. This thing ought to, you know, I have a great grandson. He's 10 to 1 year old this week, and a great grandson, and you know, and I see him walking around, and I just see him, you know, and I know at 74 years old, I just wonder, you know, and I be praying as I see him walking by me. I grab him and just pray over him, and ask God to anoint him and ask God to bless him. And I'd be so concerned, you know, of what's going to happen to us as a people, and him as being a young black boy growing up to be a black man. And obviously, I can't be around. I won't be around to help him. I won't be around to help him. And I'm just saying to you, myself, should we not be thinking that way about our grandchildren and our great-grandchildren? Should we not be thinking that way about them? Caller, thank you for your patience. Hurry this morning. Good morning. Good morning.
Hey, Reverend Holley.
Yeah.
Your activities, man, and so many people, like, y'all putting a big dent in some of the issues and problems. That's needed. You know, you can't exclude it. So this is another part of the problem that we got to resolve. We can't keep relying on others. I guess what I'm trying to say is no other nation of people, even here in the city of Detroit, is subjected to what blacks is being subjected to. They don't have to be. I know that because I'm old as you, and I'm looking out. I don't see Mexicans marching. I don't see Jews marching, you know, and I don't see the Arabs marching. So what is it about us that we have to put up with this? You see what I'm saying? So all of us see that is a problem. That's something we got to deal with initially. We got to survive, plus deal with that. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So others are not being subjected to what we're being subjected to when we're in this fight for survival. They don't have to jump these hurdles that black people have to jump. So it's hard for me to say it's our fault when all of this is in front of us. People keep putting this in front of us. We're not putting it in front of themselves. Yeah. And it seems to me that when we start to get things together like we were doing in Black Bottom, what happened in Black Bottom happened all over the United States with black people. Yeah. If they saw that you were pulling yourself and getting yourself together, they came in and destroyed it.
Right.
So now here you go back trying to start all over again.
Yeah, yeah.
And every part that everybody do is helping. So what you're doing is helping, man. You know, Louis Farrakhan is helping, and all the others is helping. Yeah. We just haven't done it collectively.
Yeah.
But all of y'all are putting dents in it, man. Y'all dealing with the issues every day.
All right.
And don't think that you're not appreciated. Thanks a lot, Reverend.
Right. Thank you for the call. Caller, thank you for your patience. Hard this morning.
Oh, just hello, Reverend Holley.
Yes. Yeah.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
You know, just like the gentleman say, you know, the Arabs are not marching, the Mexicans not marching, the Jews are not marching. They don't have a leader. You know, the only people got a leader here are black people. You know, I remember how do you think we used to make? I know my great aunt was a numbers lady. She used to be the check and go. She was the person you go to if your kid needed a college education, needed a car, needed rent pay, needed a house no pay. She was the numbers lady. She had the money. But we have gotten so brain dead now. You know, like I say, that we could take 2 million black males, save $10 per month for 12 months, and come up with $240 million. We did it for Bernie Sanders. We did it for Obama, sending them money. They are multi-millionaires now because they grabbed all the money and put it over in their account. This is what I'm talking about. You know, the Arab brothers, they said, do you see any of our Arab brothers on the street? They said, we won't let another Arab live on the street. They give them a house. They have to work, but they help one another. They have true brotherhood. That's the reason why. And we go out here and do all the marches, get everybody all the civil rights and back to women, and they come against us and vote for Trump. So, you know, and then, too, I was reading on the net, you know what causes anxiety and stress in the black community? It's not having money, okay? They don't have money. They can't take care of their children. That driver's responsibility destroys families. People lost their jobs. Do you know people lost their jobs because they couldn't drive to work?
Yeah,
Do you know how much mental illness that because
Sure.
you lose your job,
Yeah.
you lose your car,
Yeah.
you lose everything, they lost everything. And guess who put those driver responsibility act in? A Jennifer Granholm, a Democrat. And while Negro Democrats sat up there and allowed her to do it, and did not tell her the devastating conditions that it would put on African people. So we have nobody. I'm still a leadership, yeah. But you got to ingest money. You got to ingest money into the black community. They're not going to give you 40 acres and a mule. We're going to have to do it. We're going to have to find some kind of way. We need to give money to black males. If you give 50,000 black males $1 million and from our savings, they can take care of their families. They can send their women to school. They can take if carjackings would go to zero, robberies would go to zero. People have nothing. They live in empty houses. A young man standing up, coming out of prison, gets nothing. In some instances, they get nothing. They just out here with zero. Do you know what they have? Is to have zero, no family connections or nothing. Right. What are you talking about? You got to ingest money. Power comes from the bottom. You have to give people money. And what they got, you got a corporation sitting up getting $49 million. $88 billion, $89 million, and the people out here, it's not, listen here, it's not just black people, it's white people too. It's white and brown and all of them out here. I got a friend, she's a university professor in New York. Guess what, Reverend Holley? She's on food stamps. She said they won't give her but 1 or 2 classes every 6 months or something. Yeah. She said, I can't make it like that. I got to pay the student loan. Yeah. And she's a professor. She's on food stamps. She lives in New York. Right. Do you understand me? So it is a lot of us out here, seniors and things, have to work extra jobs to pay out our children's student debt that we co-signed for. Okay. So this is not the people are not addressing the real problems of what the struggle we have.
Thank you.
People on the bottom need money. We're tired of these big social programs that do absolutely nothing. 40, 50 years of social programs. What do we have?
Gotcha.
We have the worst poverty that we have ever had because you know what? We don't even own our homes no more.
Yeah. Thank you so much for the call, though. Caller, thank you for your patience early this morning.
Oh, I'm doing well, Reverend Holley. How are you?
Just fine. Thank you for calling.
Yes. First of all, I'd like to go back to the old adage, if we are, in fact, billion/trillion-dollar consumers, we shouldn't even have a problem. You know, I understand the system is against us, etc., but a lot of it lies within ourselves and our mental capability to deal with finances. A lot of us don't know how to deal with finance. We don't know how to build wealth. Now, I disagree with Tyrone and you saying that we had 3 or 4 decades, which means 30 to 40 years of, well, specifically here in Detroit. We were working in Detroit. Under Coleman A. Young, we had City of Detroit workers. We had DPS workers. And let's not forget the factories. So we as black people were working 30, 40 years ago, and we were working with good jobs. Now, what we did with our money, that's a whole nother story. We should have bought homes, owned homes, bought more homes, but, you know, because we as a people are not wise, and when it comes to finance, we blow a lot of money. So, you know, it's a very convoluted problem because it is the system, yes, but it is also us. If we have that much money to ingest into the economy to the tune of billions, there's no reason why we should be in this shape. I don't care what the system does. Yeah. Money talks, and we all know the rest. Thank you very much.
Okay, 20 minutes after the hour, I'm going right back to the phones. Let me just mention I guess say we got 1.9 trillion. That's with the T, trillion dollars in terms of disposable income. We got human resources. We got some of the best minds in the African American in America. Some of the best minds. We got the best educators. We got the best researchers. We got some of the best. I guess my thing is then why can't the best, for the most part, sit down and talk about what's best for all of our people, from the least of these to the most of these. What is it? What is it that we know who we are. We know where we come from. We know what we used to be in terms of the whole world. You know, and but I'm just saying to you is if we got this kind of disposable income, you know, and then you got human resources. We got black colleges, got some of the best minds in the country, right here in this country. You know, there's a guy that I'm trying to make sure you get a chance to meet. He's the richest man in the world, not just the richest black man in the world. He's the richest man in the world. He comes out of Nigeria. He's into cement. And then there's a lady in the Congo that's the richest. If you think Oprah got some money, let me tell you how the money this woman's got. You can't tell me, my sisters and brothers, you see what's going on in the Congo. You see this guy's getting ready to, if you're not careful, thousands going to be slaughtered. You see what's going on in Nigeria, where they're still stealing little babies. I mean, the girls. I mean, this whole diaspora, this mentality that we have, whether it's kidnapping girls, or whether it's kidnapping money, or killing each other in neighborhoods, or whatever it is. I mean, somehow, some kind of way, if we could just pull our resources, just pull ourselves together, and pull ourselves together. Caller, thank you for your patience. How are you this morning?
Yeah, good morning, Reverend Holley. How are you?
Okay.
Well, first of all, nobody can take campaign funds and transfer to their personal account. You know, you got laws against that.
Who you talking about?
Who you talking about? One in the PAC, too.
Who you talking about?
But you know, Reverend Holley.
Who you talking about?
Pardon?
Who you talking about?
Well, Marcia made the comment about, you know, how people are now millionaires and they've taken like the campaign funds and put them in their personal account.
Okay.
You can't do that. There's laws against that.
I don't think she's saying that, though.
But needless to say, in terms of, you know, what you've been talking about, Reverend Holley, you can't want more for people than what they want for themselves. And you know what? Everything starts at home. Okay? Personally, with me and my family, when I was a kid, okay, and going through school, especially when I got to high school, me and my brother, it was not, well, are you going to college? It was like, what college are you going to? I mean, that was the expectation that my father had. Because my father went to Morris Brown for 2 years, and he knew the value of an education. And, you know, just like Pat was saying, 30, 40 years ago, black folks is working, but, you know, you got to know how to handle your money as well, okay? Because, I mean, just because you make it, and you just can't go out and spend everything. You got to put something up, and I'm not talking about necessarily in a bank, because a bank don't pay you nothing as far as savings. You got to go out here and take a risk and be willing to invest that money into IRAs, municipal funds, and those kinds of things. But, like I said, if there's no expectation coming from home for these children, pretty much the next spot where they will get that expectation from is and should be school. All right? Because some of these folks who have these children just because of a mechanical act, they come here. They didn't ask. They couldn't choose their parents. Okay, but they're here, and if there is nothing at home, meaning dysfunction, I mean, the kid grows up and that becomes their norm. Okay, but people have got to push for the children to go off and and do well and wish them well. But you got some of these folks who, for whatever reason, they never amounted to nothing, and they don't want their children to amount to nothing. Or if the kid is doing well, oh, you think you smart, you think you're going to do this and you're going to do that. They're steadily downing the child, okay, in some instances. And, the kid will get frustrated and then end up in the same cycle of nonsense and dysfunction that the parent or parents are in. Like I said, everything emanates at home.
I got you.
And if we take care of our home, you don't have to worry about, stuff coming from Washington. What they say, all politics is local. If we can get it together here, you don't necessarily need to sit there and worry about, well, what am I going to get from Washington?
Gotcha.
And then talking about jobs, there are jobs.
Yeah.
Now, a job may not be the one that you want. First of all, they didn't get no further than maybe the 10th grade, or they might have dropped out, or either you graduated high school. But, I mean, that's all you got going for you. And you out here competing against people who got bachelor's, master's, specialists, and PhDs. And guess what? If I got a business and somebody comes and applies to me who has only went to maybe the 10th grade or maybe graduated high school, and I got somebody with a degree that want a job, guess what? I'm going with the person that did the degree because they proved their worth. They went to college, got a degree, and made something of themselves. Whereas, but anyway.
Thank you, buddy. Thank you for that call. Call you in touch, Ari, this morning.
Yes, Reverend Holley?
Yeah.
Yes, okay. I'm calling back. Okay, Section 8 has some openings. And I just want to give out the website, if you don't mind.
Okay, quickly.
Okay, yes. You go to nationalaffordablehousing.com, nationalaffordablehousing.com, and Section 8 they got the openings now. Reverend Holley, I will call Monday to your office. Who do I need to speak to?
Deborah.
Deborah, okay. I'm going to give her all the information, okay?
Very good. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Bye-bye.
Call it. Thank you for your patience. Sorry, this. Hello?
Yes, hello.
Yes.
I'd like to reiterate what I said last week.
Okay.
We don't need leaders because the people don't want to follow one man. We need leaders that are coming together as a talk forum so that we can talk about how can we help our people. The Mexicans have their own council. The Italians have their own council. We have a lot of people that are misdirecting us to think of their greed or their desires, but they're not centered on the people. We need electricians, skilled tradesmen that are willing to give us a chance. I have a grandson. As I look at him, I know what's ready to come down the pipeline. 20 years from now, I'm not going to be here. We need forums where we can gather all the leaders together, and we need leaders, not one man. We need, like the Black Council of Pastors, for example. If we can get people to come in and talk about our problems and how we can get the people that have a little bit of, how can I say, juice to jumpstart some people, then we have a chance of being able to spread the word where people can become attractive to it. Right now, the people are giving up because they don't have a lot of hope, and the hope that we give them, we can't back it up. We need to have somebody and something to go to that we can combine strengths. And the way I say combine strengths, whatever your expertise is, we need all these people to come together, whereas they're giving our black people this opportunity to be able to step inside the ring and get started.
Gotcha.
Right now, we need forums, and we need it to be at all different kind of places so that we can gather the masses.
Yeah.
We can go out here and go to school, but they won't give us a chance because of what they call workers' right or whatever. They're going to hire their nephews, nieces, and everybody else. We got to hire our own. We got to get together with our own people and have a movement going. And it only starts when we have different types of form of education, because we can't reach everybody, but we got to reach the ones that we can reach.
Yeah, I get
Thank you very much.
No, appreciate the call, and I appreciate your passion with the call as well. I think that my concern is the fact is who in our leadership that have a platform, a national platform. Is somebody basically calls a meeting and the press comes and make sure that the message gets out, or who's has that microphone, and that's the kind of person. And understand, my sisters and brothers, that I remember in the old days when Mr. Furkine, when I start really getting to know him, I never will forget he used to have his toothpaste. He used to have all kinds of toiletries, and we didn't support that. The Honorable Elijah Muhammad had products. When we talk about Martin Luther King, understand when Dr. King was killed, his approval ratings was less than 40%, if I'm not mistaken. When his approval ratings among blacks was very low. A lot of preachers did not want to be associated with Dr. King. Two convention broke up because of Dr. King. Went from the national, broke up to versus the progressive. And I'm just saying to you, my sisters and brothers, I've seen so much. And it's disheartening because you kind of figure out, what will it take? What will it really take to bring us together? What will it really take? If you got 300 or 400 homicides in a city, that doesn't hurt. If you got 7,000 kids drop out of school, that doesn't do it. If you got all of our young men, got more young men in prison than we had on the plantation in 1863, that don't do it. What does it? 5,000 lynchings that took place between the 60s and the 1940. That didn't do it. Don't do it. What does it? What will it do? What has to happen? What really has to happen? When I look at I was looking at a profile from in California, Los Angeles, and San Francisco. Did you see all those homeless people? And they're talking about another 11 million to really do legal aid for non-immigrants, illegal immigrants, and not doing nothing about the homeless. And how do you sit there and put up with that kind of stuff? How do decent people? I'm nobody. I'm just nobody trying to tell everybody about somebody who can save anybody. But when I saw that lady that cold morning, I had to take her to a hotel and just get her registered. And how do you do this? How do you pass up humanity? How do you pass up a person and you see them just miserable? How do people in Chicago put up? How do any of us, Detroit, or any of us? But when you see the stuff that was going on in San Francisco and in Los Angeles, just roll box after blocks after blocks of homelessness, and they're going to put money together to help illegal immigrants, 11 million, and we put up with that kind of stuff. All in the name of politics. This is ridiculous. It's just ridiculous. It's just ridiculous, my sisters and brothers. And we get into a point where it just doesn't seem like we really don't care anymore. As long as it's not my son and not my daughter, not my daddy, not my mother, then it just seems like this sense of not caring. You can go to you go to funerals now, and you got fights going on at a funeral. You go to a funeral and you see shootings going on at a funeral. A guy comes in and shoot up the casket of the he's already dead. And shoot him up again, and then hurt the other people that's in there looking at him. What is this? Is it in the water? Is it in some food product that we're taking? That we get to the point where we'll sell strychnine to our children? Is this where we're going? All in the name of money? Caller, thank you for your patience. How are you this morning?
Yes, Reverend, I called back to make an announcement. I'm hearing a lot of people talk. What I'm going to do, I'm trying to come on Tuesday. And what I want to do is have a structured debate, a friendly debate, what's the best way we get out of the situation that you named, and everybody can come in. I invite you, if I get the spot, to call in, give your views, and we'll dissect them. I give my views, we'll dissect it, and let's come up with what we can do. And I will say this also ahead of time. I do have a plan. I announced on the TV and organized by zip code so that we can talk to Mary Jo and Willie John all over this city in every zip code and organize the people, and then we have strength when we go to do anything. So I'm going to be coming from that angle. You come from your angle, then you dissect my views, and if y'all show me that it's wrong, I will relinquish my view and take the best view that's out here. We in serious problems. So gotcha. I'm trying to get it Tuesday, and it's going to be structural debate.
Got you, my buddy. Thank you for that. Caller, thank you for your patience. Sorry this morning. Good morning.
Good morning, Reverend Holley.
Yes, how are you?
I'm just fine, sir.
Good.
You're a reverend. Have you ever heard of the Son of Man?
Yes.
Okay. Well, he claims to have the way. He claims that he is the Word in the flesh. And if talk to this man, I think the truth. He has the answer to our problems, basically. Because all the stuff that you're talking about, how we treat each other, it's all written in the Scripture, sir.
Okay.
It's just like in the days of Noah, so shall it be in the day of the Son of Man, which in Noah's days says the heart of man was evil continually. It also says, just like in the day of Lot, so shall it be in the day of the Son of Man, which in Lot's days, they were doing that gay thing. So it's all written in the Scripture, sir. And the Son of Man, I listen faithfully. I know, he helped out with the station that you're on. And the man has a plan. He told us how to come together and what to do. resources are put all our resources together, and we can do for ourselves. Problem is, and the Bible says that too, they're not listening to him, and nobody wants for him. So once we all come together, if I dare anyone to listen to this man, follow him and see if he is the one he says he is.
Okay, and I appreciate the call. I'm have a lot of in fact I listen to Son of Man at least maybe 3 times a week, but again I'm missing it in terms of the strategy piece. But I know that his love for people, his love for us, and also for his maybe I'm just missing the strategy of it. But I do know that he has a great mind and a great spirit. And perhaps maybe I need to do a one-on-one. One of his disciples is someone I just really respect so much. I don't remember his name. I'm not good at names, but he ran for a city council, for a council person, and I was trying to help him. But he's got some good people around him. He's good people. He's got good people around him. I love the economic plan that he has, and what he was doing here in the city of Detroit. Love the stuff that he's doing down south in terms of, and so I do listen to him. And again, maybe I probably just need to sit down and maybe have a one-on-one kind of conversation as to how again I can help him. Or vice versa, or how we can help each other. But I do appreciate the call. Caller, thank you so much for the call. How are you?
I'm back again.
Yeah.
Listen, Reverend, the government is not going to help us. We are spending $700 billion for the military. We are going to have to do this ourselves. They're not. It's a young white male in California. He suggested that instead of spending all this money for the military, to give people a minimum income inside of their account. Because you know what, brother, it is just things that even if you have worked 40 years, you paid your taxes and did everything right, it is stuff that we cannot even afford to buy anything anymore. I mean, capitalism is failing. You can't afford things anymore. You just can't afford to buy stuff anymore like we used to. So capitalism is failing us over here.
Okay, thank you.
I think people need to look. You need to take a scope and look around the world and look at. I'm listening to Richard Wolff. That's who I'm listening to. Yeah. You listen to him. We haven't had income raises since the 70s. You understand me? And that is the problem. People can't afford to buy a wrestling jacket. We cannot afford minimum things in this. Even though you don't work 40 years, it's stuff that you cannot afford anymore because living is so high.
Okay.
Thank you again for letting me up there.
That's fine. Oh no, I have no problem with that. Maybe you. I'm not. You seem to be very knowledgeable, and obviously, I know that you're Bernie Sanders kind of gal. And I just don't think that capitalism is failing as much as if that we are not basically engaged in capitalism. I just think that again, if we got jobs, we can buy what we want to buy. We got education that we can trade off what we know. And I learn, and our gifts, and what we trade our gifts with money, and so we get the money, we buy what we want. I don't see it that way. I think my problem is just that we don't have enough people getting involved and getting jobs and getting education and having a passion. When we were growing up. And I know this sounds like 1,000 years ago, but when I was growing up, we had a passion for education. It was a passion for it. We just didn't. My son, but I used to walk to school. I mean, I would walk for miles to my elementary school and back. There was no bus. We didn't have no busing. And then to go to middle school, when the bus wouldn't run, I had to walk. And walk all the way to Bramwell, which was over the hill through a tunnel just to get to school. It was a passion that we had for it. Because I just knew that somehow, some kind of way, I just didn't want to be poor. I didn't want to be poor. I just didn't want. My grandmother. We had a box coming every month from this federal government. It wasn't food stamps. We got a box, a powdered sugar, powdered eggs, powdered this. I don't eat nothing powdered now. And we had H and some type of green stamps. H and some type of green stamps. You know what I'm talking about. Don't act like I'm the only one. But I'm just saying to you, my son, we've been poor, but we knew how to get out of it, and we had a passion that this is not us. This is not where we want to be. And somewhere down the line, we've lost this passion for education, lost this passion for basically. I remember my grandmother said, "Whatever, if you don't have nothing else, you got your name. Just always protect the name." You remember when they used to tell you that? Always protect the name. When you go and see a girl, call yourself courting, the parents that have you come in and want to know who your peeps, in other words, who your people. See if you got any crazy people in your family. I'm just saying to you, this is the thing that we used to do. And this is the way we used to act. This is this is something that we really cared about us. And somehow, some kind of way, I don't know how we're going to get back to it. I really don't. I really don't. I really don't know how we're going to get back to it. I see these kids. I'm next door to a school, and I see the kids, and you just wonder. You just wonder what's in store for them. What's in store for them? And so I won't be bothering you about this and this, like preaching today, and I don't mean to, but I'm just telling you, my sisters and brothers, I just feel that somehow, some kind of way, we need to understand that we got a lot of problems in our community, and I don't see anybody addressing it. I don't see no one really addressing it. And then if we have somebody like Minister Farrakhan addressing it, who's going to execute it? He's not able to do that. He's the messenger. I was talking to Minister Ishmael and trying to see, what could we do to work together, to some of this. But we're going to dissect this speech that the minister gave on Savers Day, and have our opportunity for you to talk about it as well. Let me get this in. I'll go back to the phones. Let me just get this in. I'm telling you, I need to have somewhere between 17 to 20 people, 15 to 20 people to come to my church today at 12 o'clock or Sunday at 12 o'clock. And if you're between the ages of 18 to 26, 18 to 26, I will give you a job making $10 an hour for 2 months. 2 months. All you need is your Social Security, the last 4 numbers of your Social Security, a driver's license. If you don't have a driver's license, just give me a state ID, a copy of it, a state ID. Again, this is not, you're not going to have a PhD. I like for you to be weed free, but if just I like for you to be that way, but at least give me some respect, when you come in on today or tomorrow at 12 o'clock. Just be with me. Let me see if I can help you. Just let me help you, I got this, I must admit to you, what God blesses me with is just good. I don't have money, I have good relationships. And Wayne County Community College is, when we're trying to help other kids, they're there. They're there. And basically, I'm really talking about these programs at Wayne County Community College. And again, like I said, $10 an hour, 2 months, 40 hours a week. And you may sit around and just shadow me. You may help me move some boxes from one corner to the next. You may just drive with me when I go to meetings or something. Or you may go and work with some president or vice president or someone in administration that basically just needs some help. The point is, just want to give you some money. Just give you some money. Get you off the street. Get you to start thinking about life. I'm paying you just to think about life, and you won't give me a chance to help you. I'm paying you $10 an hour for 2 months just to think. Oh, my sisters and brothers. Well, I'm tired. I'm really tired. I maybe that's what begging does for you. You get tired just begging. Caller, thank you for your patience. How are you this morning? Good morning.
Reverend Holley.
Yeah, how are you?
I got to call back because, see, we got to understand that we are in desperate times.
Yeah.
Okay? We have got to get our people together. The only way to get the people together is to get them all together. Okay? How do you get them all together? You got to get the word out. There's going to be something big coming for our people.
Gotcha.
See, right now, we can't be afraid to say that we need to help black people.
Okay.
People get up in a little bit of authority, and they are afraid to say we need to help black people.
Okay, thank you.
Mr. Farrakhan has no problem with it because he's been fighting this adversity a long time.
Yeah.
We got to get the smaller people to recognize the desperation that we're in.
Gotcha.
Because this has become a technical world now.
Yeah. Thank you, my
friend. They
friend.
don't need regular people anymore.
Thank you, buddy.
People with specialized education now.
Yeah, thank you,
Our
sir.
kids don't understand because they don't like to be told what to do. So we have to get the people around us together so that they can see that, and then they'll get curious enough to want to do something. But we need to have it in every area of the city.
Okay,
we
thank
need
you.
to have a real calling because we are desperate for our kids.
Okay,
We're
thank you,
desperate for our family.
Thank you, my
we
friend.
have got to do it. Thank you.
Oh, thank you. Thank you so much. You're very, very nice about that. Let me just mention you again. All I need is from the ages of 18 to 26. If you're male or female, I just need you with your ID, a driver's license or ID, state ID, or the last four digits of your Social Security number. I just need you to know that I need you to be at the church today at 12 o'clock. I'll be there waiting for you. If you're not able to make it today because it's just a short notice, then I'm asking you to meet me there tomorrow after church at 12 o'clock after church. So just meet me there. Let me get you ready, get you signed up. I just want you to know all I need is 15, just 15. The money is just burning my pockets, Just got 15, $10 an hour. It's 18 to 26. If you're 27, look like you're 26, I'll take you. If you're 28, look like you're 26, I'll take you. But I'm just telling you, I just want to see what we can do just to start getting you thinking, just thinking about your life. This may be the best 2 months that you spent all of your life. These 2 months, these 8 weeks. My sister and brother, just knowing that the possibilities are out there. It's out there. Well, anyway, you've been very nice to me, and I'm very grateful to you. You're always nice to me, and I know I get tired of, get on your nerves sometime, and I be worrying the heck out of you. But sure know this. Count it to my head and not to my heart, for sure. Have a wonderful day and a good weekend. And don't forget, the Barry Kelly is coming up next.
We'll say